right, we're going to start off with Mr. Robert Carr. Will you come up here and lead us in prayer, please?
All right, everyone, please stand and bow with me. Lord, we ask for your blessings and thank you for the blessings you bestow on us every day. Lord, we ask for your guidance in our deliberations. And Lord, we ask that no matter the party, that your will be done and help bring this country back to you. Please be with our soldiers, our sailors, airmen, Marines, and guardians as they protect us each day around the world, as well as our fire, police, and first responders. Lord, thank you, and we ask for your blessings of this food and its nourishment to our bodies and us to your service. In your name we pray. Amen.
Everybody stand. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, be seated. Alright, hey, thank you everybody for coming out today. We got a really good crowd here, so I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to start with some announcements. So Connie, would you come up here and have announcements for what the county executive committee is doing?
Pat Wilson would have been here today, but she's a little under the weather and she can't talk. She has laryngitis. So thank you, Caleb, for coming and filling in for Pat. Announcements. March 5th is the primary election. That's next Tuesday. We have a bunch of sample ballots left right back here on this table. Take as many as you think you'll use to hand out to people that may want them. Yes, of course. February 27th through the 29th is Alabama Federation of Republican Women Legislative Days. That's happening starting today. March 14th is Montgomery County Republican Executive Committee at Faulkner University in the private dining area in the Student Commons building. It starts at 6:00 p.m. That is after the primary, so candidates, you don't have to worry about that one, I hope. March 26th here at River Region Republicans, Sue Tane Wood will be our speaker. If you've never heard her speak, you need to come and hear how she left Laos, I think she's from Laos, and came to the United States with just very few dollars, and how she came for the American dream, and she owns Tang's Alterations. You probably know who she is. But anyway, her story is a great one, so it's going to be really good next time. Maybe not as good as it is today, huh?
It'd be better.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. March 28th is Capital City Republican Women at Montgomery Country Club at noon. You will see all these announcements in the roundup, but I think Attorney General Steve Marshall will be the speaker then. I've got I voted stickers on the table back there. You get I voted sticker to wear after you vote, but these have the Republican elephant on them. So please get as many as you think you can hand out to other Republicans to put on after they vote. We want to make people know that in Montgomery County there are Republicans, okay? And I think Greg, RCCA.
Our next meeting will be April, Tuesday, April the 9th. We had a good meeting last week with State Auditor Andrew Sorrell and a legislative update from reading room. It's a real good turnout. We don't have a speaker announced yet for the April 9th meeting, but we'll be getting that notice out. Put that on your calendars. The Republican Club of Central Alabama, Tuesday, April the 9th at UNC House Grill.
Okay, and remember, back on the table I have the ballots And I have the I voted Republican stickers. Get as many as you think you'll need. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie and Greg. I saw we had some elected officials trickle in, so by tradition, they got everybody's lunch. So, is that right? Anyway, I just want to recognize some of our elected officials. I want to recognize elected officials that aren't running I guess next month. So we'll start with Justice Greg Cook, Alabama Supreme Court. Judge Matt Friday. And Judge Bill Cole. Anybody that missed that's not running, they'd like to be recognized. You're, unopposed. Well, that's right. Oh, Judge Chris McCool. He's unopposed. Judge Cole, y'all have any Democrat opposition? Do y'all have any Democrat opposition? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Congratulations. So now we're going to start with our candidates and representatives. So first off, we're going to give y'all 3 minutes to speak and introduce who you are. So I'm going to start off with Courtney Hawthorne. Dick Brewbaker was here.
Y'all all know me. Our families, Dick and I, go way back. Y'all know he's a man of integrity. And he's running for office like our founding fathers envisioned it to work, to be successful, which he's been, and now he's giving back to the community. He says he's running for his grandchildren. He's a staunch state senator, he's got a great voting record. We all know he's a good Christian conservative, and so now he's giving back to the community. He said he wanted to run 2 terms. He stood up for that, and that's what he agreed to, and that's what he did. So he's coming out of retirement to try to help take our nation back. We need people like you for that.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. We've been here before, so it's not a lot that I can tell you, but I'll share 4 things with you that are pertinent and important to the passion Kelly has about serving on the school board after having been educated at the University of North Carolina in the School of Education and then being involved in education administration for 15 years. Parents' rights. Incorporating parent choice is vital for our Alabama families to enable them to make the best educational choices for their children. It's time for parents to be at the forefront to make decisions. Back to basics curriculum. We need to get back to curriculum basics with high standards and focus on core subjects, including history and civics. That's unwashed, is true, and is what we all need to be living with and understanding that things may have happened that weren't good, but we need to be honoring the fact that history is history. We've got 2 degrees in history. I don't want anybody to whitewash it. School choice. Alabama families must have the right to choose what is best for their children, whether it's public school, private school, charter school, classical school, or homeschooling. You know, there's a bill going to be up there today. I may not like that bill. I will try to probably amend that bill in some places. But the bottom line is, at least a discussion, a conversation has started on school choice. So I will likely vote for that bill just to get it over to the Senate for continued discussion. We can't stop and just quit and stay with what we've got. There are families that need help. Fiscal responsibility and transparency. Alabama funding for public education process has increased by over 30%, but student test results have declined by 50%. Our funding should be going directly to the classroom. I think y'all know exactly what that means. We need to stop funding bureaucrats and take the oxygen out of the classrooms that liberal leftists, and they're leftists, you can call them what you want to, socialists, humanists, whatever. We need to take it away from them and get back to the point that our children are getting true education and become patriots and not people who aren't going to be proud of their nation and want to serve their nation. Thank you. I hope you'll vote to support Kelly on March the 5th. It's always good to be back home in Montgomery, having grown up here. Lived here most of my life. Getting close to more of it being up North Shelby now. Thank y'all.
First off, let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be with y'all today. I was scheduled to be down here in January. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away unexpectedly, and I was unable to be with y'all. With that said, my name is Stephen Parker. I'm a candidate for the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals, Place 2. a practicing attorney in Coleman County with my wife. For going on 23 years, we have practiced in the areas that come before the Court of Civil Appeals hears most. Those would be our family law cases, our divorces, our child support cases, our modifications, and our juvenile dependency cases. I have worked hard over the last 23 years advocating for children as a guardian ad litem, being their voice in court. I have worked to help preserve families by representing parents, seeking reunification when possible. I have further taken that beyond, and I've mediated these cases as well, trying to bring consensus and to preserve families when that is possible. I believe that this real world in the courtroom experience at the trial level uniquely qualifies me to make a meaningful contribution on the Court of Civil Appeals. If that were not the case, I wouldn't be seeking this office. I'd remain with my wife in private practice. So if it sounds like this is a passionate area to me, it is. Our families are vitally important to us individually, to our country. It's a bedrock, second only to our faith. I want to take that experience to Montgomery, to serve you, to serve the rest of my state, and to make what I believe would be a meaningful contribution to that court. So with that, I will ask you for your prayers, your consideration, and on March 5th, I'm going to ask you for your vote and send me to Montgomery. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I doubt that anybody in this room needs to be introduced to me. I'm Rich Anderson. I'm 6th generation Alabamian, native Montgomeryan. I've been around this club for a long time, so y'all know who I am, what I stand for. I have been traveling all over the state of Alabama, spreading my message of the importance of the Court of Criminal Appeals, what I believe to be the importance of my almost a quarter century now of appellate experience, and getting on close to 20 years of criminal appeals experience. My 18th year now as a criminal appeals lawyer. And I look forward to putting that experience, that time to work for y'all in front of the court I've been practicing on, or practicing in front of for a long time, Court of Criminal Appeals, where my promise to the people of Alabama has been that I will be a Deuteronomy 1 judge. I'm going to hear cases, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to judge righteously between each man and his brother. Doesn't matter who you are, when you come before me, I'm going to show no favoritism. I'm going to hear the small as well as the great. You got a little money, you got a lot of money, you're the same in the eyes of the law. That's the way it's got to be. And lastly, I'm going to judge righteously, because judgment is God's. What does that mean? Well, I've got to apply the law fairly to everybody. I've got to adhere to the Constitution. I've got to apply an originalist philosophy. When folks, the founders, wrote the Constitution, they knew what they were saying. And it's not my job to come back behind them and try to change what they were saying. So, same thing applies to laws. Legislature knows what they're writing, and to the extent they don't conflict with the Constitution, I've got to apply them as they are written. That's the way the job works. I'm asking the people of Alabama to let me do the job. I'm asking y'all the same thing. So I'm hopeful, I'm energized. I've just gotten a really good endorsement from the Alabama Republican Assembly, which is a group that Ronald Reagan once called the conscience of the Republican Party. And if you are like me, who's seen the Republican Party occasionally divert from its core principles over the years, I think it's a good thing we've got a conscience to bring us back on the conservative track. That's where I want us to be, because I think those are the ideals that have made the country great, that have made Alabama great, and that will keep us strong in the future. Again, y'all know me, I'm Rich Anderson, running for the court. I'd love to have you vote on March 5th. I'm exhausted. We've got a week left, but it's almost over. Thank y'all.
Yes, I'm Thomas Govan. It's good to be back with you here again today. I'm running for the Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 2 on ballot on March 5th. I'm from right here in Montgomery. I'm a husband and father to 4 beautiful school-aged children. We're members of Trinity Presbyterian Church, where I serve as an elder. I'm a lifelong conservative Republican all the way back to my days when I was chairman of the College of Republicans at the University of Alabama. I'm an Air Force Reserve officer, and I'm a career prosecutor. Spent my entire career in public service prosecuting violent crime. I'm currently the chief of the Criminal Trials Division in Attorney General C. Marshall's office. Prior to that, I was chief of the Capital Litigation Division, which is the division that handles all the death penalty cases and prosecutes them in state and federal court. Prosecuted cases in the Court of Criminal Appeals for over a decade. I would love to take that experience to serve you and the people of Alabama on the Court of Criminal Appeals. We need conservative leaders at all levels of government, and we especially need them in our court system. And that's the thing that we need more than ever is people who are committed to serving and upholding the rule of law. That's so important to me. I've got 4 kids, and we care about the future of our state, and we love our state. And so we want to make sure that we can continue to have a judicial system where the rule of law is respected. So that's why I'm running for the Court of Criminal Appeals. I've been endorsed by some great conservative organizations like the Alabama Farmers Federation, the Alabama Forestry Association. Would love to earn your vote and support as well. So please remember to go with Govan for the Court of Criminal Appeals on March 5th. Thank y'all so much, and God bless.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cedric Coley of Montgomery County. A little bit about myself. I know I've met several of you, but several new faces. Cedric Coley, born in 1990, born to a single-parent household. My grandfather stepped up to help raise me. He instilled in me these values of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and you don't tear down your home. If your bathroom or your kitchen needs renovations, you do that. That's your responsibility. You don't tear down the entire home. So he was part of the mass demonstrations of the 50s and 60s. But he also volunteered for Vietnam. He wasn't drafted. So he instilled in me that patriotism, that love for country, and if you see something wrong, say something about it. So in 2015, I helped support a gentleman that ran for president. A lot of folks said some bad things about him, but I did the cardinal sin of liberals. I actually ignored what they were saying and went to read and listen for myself what the gentleman actually said. Long story short, we won the 2016 presidential election, and in 2020, I was a part of the Stop the Steal movement. I believe we won in 2020. It's hard for me to understand how the current man in the White House is the most popular president in American history. I just refuse to believe it. So what does that mean? Why are you running for county commission? Because being 33 years old, these issues are not going to wait. They're not going to wait until I reach retirement age. They're not going to wait for tomorrow. As a spiritual person, I believe we're under demonic attack throughout this country, on a federal level, on a state level, as well as a local level. So what does that mean? That means I have to be active, I have to get involved, and I have to voice my values. Because these folks that are attacking our American foundations, they're not afraid. They know their reward is hell, so they're going 100% hard in the paint against us. So what do we have to do? We have to continue to work together. There's several people in this room that built relationships with me when I was on the journey from being an independent American to a America First conservative Christian American. Greg Poole, Connie Grier, Pat Wilson, Jim Wilson. These individuals helped build a relationship with me. Not only give me a lecture about conservative principles and the 1776ers, they actually helped me understand in their ways of life and experiences, what does it mean to be a conservative to them. So I'm running for Montgomery County, District 3 this year. I will be on the ballot a week from now. It has been a hard campaign because a lot of people just simply don't know the candidates that are on their ballot. People are more so focused on Washington, D.C., but right here at home, these individuals impact our daily life, our pocketbooks, every single day. So I decided to step up. I'm a part of the Montgomery County Republican Executive Committee since 2016. I'm also a part of the Alabama Outreach Coalition. We were tasked by Chairman John Wall from 2021 to reach out to county chairpersons as well as the 4 Republican auxiliary groups and to facilitate a conversation. What can we do to continue to earn your support and trust, but also what issues we need to continue to focus on as a conservative party. So I'm also a part of the Young Republicans, as well as the Alabama State Executive Committee. So I've been active for the past couple of years. Now, does that mean, jump for the first opportunity to run for public office? Absolutely not. But what I will say is, if you see something wrong, you have to speak up and say something about it. I want a representative that represents me on the county commission that I know is an America First conservative. Because the lesson that I learned in 2015, 2016, Donald Trump needs help. If he is your candidate, if he is your guy, he needs help, not just in Washington, but in Montgomery and on a local level. So I decided to throw my hat in the race. I decided to reach out and talk to the voters. I feel real good about this race. So what can we do moving forward? Well, we can continue to be strong, conservative Americans first and foremost. We can continue to go to our Heavenly Father in prayer. And we can also continue to talk amongst each other, network, and reach out to individuals that we know are doing the work. For example, our Secretary of State, he has been doing the work. He has earned our trust since his election. So we have to be active, because guess what? Our opponents are very active. So thank you for listening to me. If you live in my district, Montgomery County, District 3, I ask that you consider voting for me. If you don't live in my district, I ask that you consider supporting me. Prayers first and foremost. Contributions, of course. I'm running for public office. But more importantly, let's continue the conversation about why our policies, why the fundamentals of America is great as opposed to Joe Biden and the liberal agenda. Thank you.
All right, I have the honor to introduce our guest for this afternoon, 54th Alabama Secretary of State, Wes Allen. Secretary Allen earned his bachelor's degree from University of Alabama and his master's degree from Troy University. Played football under Coach Dean Stallings at the Alabama Crimson Tide. In 2009, he was appointed to serve as the probate judge of Pike County by then Governor Bob Riley, and served in that role for nearly a decade. In 2018, he ran and was elected for the Alabama House of Representatives, District 89 for Pike and Dale counties. And in 2022, he was elected as Secretary of State for the state of Alabama. He is also past chairman of the Pike County Republican Party. So, Secretary Allen, thank you, and come on up.
Thank y'all for allowing me to come back and visit with you. I was supposed to be here back in August. My son Davis had to have some emergency surgery, and so we got that taken care of. He's doing a lot better, but I appreciate, I think Mike Jones filled in, and Jonathan Hester, our government relations liaison for our office, filled in that day. So thank y'all for offering me some grace on that and being able to circle back and visit with you. So it's good. No, we're a week away. I know the candidates in here are ready. They're counting down the hours at this point. I'm sure Rich and Thomas, Cedric, and the other folks that are on Stephen, the other guys that are on this ballot. I know I've been right there with you. I know how it is. The journey is almost there at the finish line. So to all the candidates, thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for investing in the state of Alabama and campaigning all over the state. We live in a great state, worth fighting for. It's a big state, and I can honestly say that being able to travel to all 67 counties during my campaign for Secretary of State made me a better candidate. It helped me become so much better because you get pushed and pulled and tugged and questions get asked about the position we were campaigning for. It makes us better candidates, and so I cherish those memories. I cherish those relationships we were able to build on the campaign trail. Those were good days, long days, but they were good days, and so I just appreciate being able to serve as your Secretary of State each and every day when I drive up to that state capitol. What an honor and a privilege it is. It's not lost on me. The gravity of the situation of the office of which I hold is not my office, it's your office, it's the taxpayer's office. You're the ones that fund it, and we've got to make sure we take care of it and give it the respect that it needs. And so it's been a good experience over the last year. We've been in office over a year now. It's hard to believe, since January the 16th of 2023. A lot of water has passed under the bridge there, and we are kind of everything is building towards the election day. Top priority is election integrity. I heard that on the campaign trail. It's the top of everybody's mind because of what they saw back in 2020 and some other things in 2022. So we want to make sure in Alabama we have safe, secure, transparent elections. We're doing that. We're working very closely with our probate judges, circuit clerks, our sheriffs, our board of registrars, all those local officials that run those elections on the county level. as a former county official, as a probate judge who knows what it's like to be at the courthouse at 5:30 in the morning on election day, who knows what it's like to travel to those precincts on election day to make sure they have what they need, to be there on election night when those unofficial results start coming in, and literally be the last one to lock up the courthouse when you go home at night on election day. So when those questions come in, and when I get phone calls from probate judges, my friends that are still in office, and they ask questions, it's not some foreign language to us. And we've got a great team there in our office. Clay Helms, 12-year veteran of the office, who started out as an intern from Auburn, worked his way up, intern, assistant director of elections, deputy chief of staff, now he's chief of staff, and we're very, very fortunate to have him. Of course, y'all know Mike. He got to visit with y'all not long ago, back in August, and he does a tremendous job. Jonathan does a great job for us, being a liaison between the legislature, but also other governmental agencies throughout the state. And then we've got Jeff Elrod, who I'm sure y'all know Jeff very well. He does a great job leading our Director of Elections duties. And so we're very proud of these folks. We've got a great team, and I believe in the team format. It takes everybody to kind of come together and lock arms and make sure that we protect our elections in Alabama. I just want to kind of go over just a few things, and then I'll leave some time for some questions before I have to get back over to the Capitol. Election integrity, AVID, the Alabama Voter Integrity Database. My first campaign promise was to make sure we withdrew Alabama from merit, and we did that. Once I put my hand down and took it off the Bible and got back to the office, we signed the letter to withdraw Alabama because we didn't think it was in the best interest of Alabama or her taxpayers or her voters to keep us in that agreement, that membership of ERIC. We thought it was a data mining operation. We thought that it was not good for minors' information to be flowing. They were not even a voting age yet to be flowing to an out-of-state group where we couldn't audit that server. We didn't have any auditability. We just didn't think that was a very good thing for Alabama. But, so many times, we just don't want to be seen as somebody, a party that just wants to blow things up and tear things up. We want to make sure we build. I'm just like y'all. I want to make sure we leave things better when we found them. And so we wanted to set out on a course to build AVID. And that's all in-house, the Alabama Voter Integrity Database. And so we set out on day one, working really, really hard. It took us over 10 months to get that thing launched and off the ground, to make sure voter file maintenance is the foundation of election integrity. It is the foundation of election integrity. And it has 4 prongs to it. Number one, our agreement with ALEA. So John Doe moves out of Alabama, goes to Missouri. He gets a driver's license in Missouri. Missouri alerts Alabama to say, hey, John Doe received a driver's license. Alabama gets that information. They cancel out that driver's license. And so we get that information from ALEA. And so we have been working our voter file maintenance. We found over 8,500 individuals that have received driver's licenses thus far in other states. And so we're working that as well. Number 2 is our national change of address. We work with the Postal Service to see, John Doe probably let the Postal Service know, say, hey, please forward my mail to my new location, wherever that may be. So we've got over 30,000 individuals that we have been alerted to that have moved out of state and have forwarded their mail. So we're working that as well, and sending them a postcard to say, hey, remove yourself off the voter list, or if it's a mistake, please let us know. Take care of it. Remove yourself off the voter list if you've moved out of state. Number 3 is our MOUs, our Memorandums of Understanding with other states. We've talked and agreed bilateral agreements with Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, also Arkansas. We're in discussions with other states as well to exchange our data on a bilateral agreement. We've already done that. We've already completed it with Tennessee. We found over 8,000 individuals that are registered in Tennessee that are also registered in Alabama. So we're working that list as well. We're making sure that our voter file maintenance is up to date. And let me just say this, per federal law, there is a 90-day cutoff. So 90 days prior to March the 5th, we had to stop the voter file maintenance. Making sure there's this federal law. It's the National Voter Rights Act, passed in 1993. So that is what we're having to do with in compliance with that. So as soon as these elections are over, we'll go right back to working those lists and maintaining voter file maintenance as it pertains to our elections. And then the last is, and really important, is the National Death Index. kept by the Social Security Administration. If John Doe leaves Alabama and goes on a trip to another state and unfortunately passes away, Alabama hasn't always had that information, okay, when someone passes away in another state. For the first time ever, we're going to have that information available to us where we can get it quickly and get those individuals that have passed away quickly off of our voter files in the state of Alabama. The Alabama Department of Public Health does a fantastic job getting the files every month to every county to pull those individuals that have been deceased and have passed away off of our voter rolls. Now, it's really easy to register to vote on our website. You can do it on your phone, you can do it at home, you can do paper copy, ever how you want to handle it. It's really easy to register to vote, right? It takes 4 years to remove someone off of the voter files because of federal law. Remember that NVRA law that I talked about, passed in 1993, signed under Bill Clinton? That restricts us on how fast we are able to remove someone. You got to give some people time because they move, and this is today's day and time. They move around a lot, so we've got to give people time when we send out these cards to make sure they receive notice. And so as soon as these runoff is over, we'll start back working the voter file maintenance. We're very proud of Avid. Of the things we've been able to find and the numbers that we've been able to alert and to start working on that voter file maintenance. Paper ballots. The legislature last year made sure that we'll always have paper ballots in Alabama. It used to be an administrative code, now it's in state law. We'll always have the paper ballots to vote on, so you'll always have those receipts. Also, the tabulators that you will vote on March the 5th, those machines and those tabulators, because of the state legislature, mandated that they can never be connected to the internet. They can't have anything in them, the modem or anything that's connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever, cannot be connected to the internet. The only plug that you're going to see on that tabulator is the one that goes into the wall for electricity. So I want everybody to make sure you have confidence, every voter to have confidence in the systems that we have in Alabama. Listen, I believe in election day, not election month, not election season, election day, okay? We want to have order on election day, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. We want to make sure voter file maintenance is up to date. And then we also made available geographical information software to these counties to make sure we have voter assignment accuracy. We saw in a couple of counties in 2022 where some folks got the wrong ballot because they were not placed in the right district. Okay, we want to make sure we give this technology so that they lay this map down on top of their county commission seats, school board seats, state representative seats, congressional seats, especially since the federal courts mandated and forced on us this new map. So GIS is going into effect in 8 counties prior to the March 5th primary, and we're looking forward to seeing the fruits of that because that is election integrity. We want to make sure people are in the right district. Also, recruiting poll workers. We launched 2 initiatives. One for attorneys. We partnered with the state bar to make sure that any attorney that wants to work as a poll worker can get CLE credit during that year. They can sign up with the probate judge, get trained, and work on election day. They'll get 4 hours of continuing education credit. We think this is a fantastic tool for probate judges to go out and recruit poll workers. Also, heroes at the polls. Who better than our veterans that have already protected our constitutional right to vote than to do that on election day as a poll worker. So we've launched those 2 tools to help probate judges, circuit clerks, and sheriffs recruit these poll workers on election day. Those are the ones that run elections in your county on election day. They are so important. And then finally, photo identification. When you go in to vote, you'll most likely present your driver's license, right? And so that is a key part of making sure we do not have fraud on election day. Last thing, and I'll wrap it up because I want to leave time for a few questions. A couple things actually. SB1, dealing with the absentee application process. This bill has already passed the Senate. It is on to the House. It will be in CC&E committee tomorrow. Honorable Mooney's committee, matter of fact, he just went out to go, they start at 1 o'clock, but it's in CC&E tomorrow to be voted on in the House committee. Now, SB1 protects the absentee process. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It protects it. We want to make sure that we make available absentee voting to the public because it is important. A lot of people depend on it. If you're sick or infirmed or going to be out of county or just can't make it to the polls, we got to make sure we protect it. But what we're making sure of is that those folks out there, those ballot traffickers and ballot harvesters, those folks cannot be incentivized by making a profit to go out and round up applications. It is already illegal to assist someone with their ballot or turn their ballot in for them. We're going straight to where the genesis of the problem begins, and that is with the application. And so there's 4 key elements to this bill. Number 1, it amends current law, okay? 1711-4, it amends current law, which says that any voter can get any person that they want to help them with the application. It does not change that, okay? But here's what it does. It makes sure that the voter is the one returning the application, the completed application. It makes sure that the one assisting him can't turn in that application for them. So you either got to mail it in if you're the voter, or you got to walk it to the circuit clerk's office to turn it in, okay? You've got to turn it in yourself. The person helping you cannot do that. And number 2, we got to make sure that we take away the payment portion. Someone cannot get paid to distribute, collect, complete, pre-fill, just all those things, those applications. They cannot accept payment. And then someone can't pay them to do it. So we're taking it out on both ends. Now, you can help people, you can help them, you can distribute them, you just can't get paid for it. So we're going to take away that motivation, that profit motivation, right, for this absentee process, because there are people out there that want to manipulate and interfere with the absentee process. And then also there are these large out-of-state groups sometimes that mass mail these applications into Alabama. We've gotten calls from it in the past to make sure that complain to say, hey, I just received a pre-filled absentee application to my house. I didn't ask for it. I want to go vote on election day. Why am I getting this? It causes confusion. It causes aggravation with those voters. So no pre-filled applications can go out. That's what it says under SB 1. It protects the disabled. We enshrine into law what it says in federal code, that if you are disabled, per the federal definition, you can receive help from start to finish, from the application to the ballot. So it protects those that are disabled. So the folks on the floor, the opponents of this, cannot say we are trying to suppress the disabled from voting, because we're not. We are putting the language in there that's in federal law. And then it also protects our military, because we've got to protect them and we've got to protect their absentee process as well. So that's SB 1 in a nutshell. We got it out of the Senate. It's on to the House committee. When we look for passage pretty quick. So now I'll be glad to open it up for any kind of questions before we leave and get out of here, because I want to be cognizant of your time. Questions? Man, I did good. Man.
Who's going to be responsible when they find these violations? What entity is going to be responsible for either investigating or going and arresting the people, especially if they're from another state and they mass mail these ballots in?
Yeah.
Who's going to go after them?
Yeah, so the question is, who's going to investigate or prosecute any potential violations of SB 1, right? I'm assuming you're talking about SB 1, the absentee bill we're talking about. Well, that would be your local DAs and the Attorney General. That would be who's responsible. The Secretary's office, we do not have the authority to investigate or prosecute. We can take in the voter fraud. Matter of fact, there's links on our website to report voter fraud, and we can pass it on. But we don't have any of those prosecuting authority to be able to come down like a hammer. That's left up to the DA and to the Attorney General, Marshall, and his team. But I would say that in these communities, because it goes on. It was admitted to last week in committee by one of our opponents of this bill that said there are professional harvesters out there. So we know it goes on, but the law right now is vague. There's no teeth in it. We're putting felony provisions in this thing, Class B and Class C felonies, to make sure we put teeth in it, and it's a deterrent. Now, is it going to stop all bad actors? No law ever does, right? But we want to deter them. We want to make sure that we protect the absentee process, And we make sure that if anybody does decide to do and partake and get paid to do this or be a bad actor in it, that we've got teeth to really make an example to where that deters future bad actors. Yes, sir.
Not really a question, but you were talking earlier about poll workers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started out back a long time ago with being a poll watcher.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that,
Sure.
but I wanted to know more. So then I became
Sure.
a poll worker in
All right.
Montgomery,
Yeah.
and eventually a chief inspector. Then I moved to Millbrook and became my chief inspector, but now I'm a I'm worker up there. If anybody ever wants to become a poll worker and wants to know what it's like on the inside and what we do, if you're not sure if you want to do it or not, ask me. I've done it many times on many different levels. It's not a hard job.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, and they pay you,
Yeah.
but you might as well not consider it a volunteer because you don't get paid a lot for by the time you do your training and your long day and stuff. But it's rewarding,
Yeah.
and knowing that you did your part to make sure that the votes that were voted count whether they were
You're
voted.
helping him maintain election integrity.
I consider
mean,
myself a poll worker with a poll watcher mentality.
There you go. Yeah, one of my greatest joys was, on election day, I would dress down. I wouldn't have my suit on, but I would get in my truck and go around to the precincts and thank the poll workers and check on them and make sure. And of course, sometimes these poll workers would bring homemade like pies and cakes and stuff. And so I would, partake of some of those cakes and maybe brought to the precincts. But man, listen, they do a great job. It is a long day, but you know what? You touched on it. You're investing in your community. You get to see your neighbors because you're at a precinct level, and then you get to help maintain election integrity. And it is a long day, but it's very rewarding. And that was one of the most rewarding things for me, was to be able to be right there with them and go to these precincts during election day and just interact with them. And they do such an outstanding job, or at least mine did in Pike County. What else we got? Yeah, Judge?
You miss being in the legislature?
No. I'm enjoying myself across the street. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yeah. Hope I was clear. Just a little iffy. Yeah. No, but a lot of friends over there. I mean, you miss the relationships, the camaraderie of those guys, folks you served with. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed serving alongside you. We had a good time. Did a lot of good things.
That's no less, we figured we'd try some other branches.
Why not? Why not? Yeah. All right, guys. Thank y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like Mary's comment. I'm kind of old watcher.
Yep.
Many different ways. And one thing, since the photo ID has been when they put the license in that machine, they're doing the stack side of that.
That iPad, yeah.
Start to the time, they don't make sure the person standing in front of them is the same person on that ID. It needs to be done about that. I support it in Montgomery County. He said he's gonna do something about it.
Okay. I mean, verifying the person that's on the ID is standing before you, making sure they take a little more time to.
Before they turn it around and put it in that machine, they need to be looking at that picture on the ID.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
That's my biggest concern.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Everybody,
Thank y'all.
Next meeting's March 26th. Sue Tang Wood's gonna be our guest speaker. So I just want to say thank y'all for attending today, and y'all have a safe trip back home. And remember, go vote March 5th. Thank y'all.